Hey there, Delight here. I brought a project to show you today that's not a new one, but since I show a lot of junk journals and that's what I do a lot of now, I wanted to share with you one of the first of the paper arts that I began with, and that is an altered book. This is starts the same in that it starts with a hardback book. The difference is with the altered books, you only take the pages out of the book that you need to make up for what you're adding to the book. So you use a lot of the book's own pages. In this particular case, I also used what's called found poetry. So I read all the pages in the book, and then the book, I found pages that I could use lines out of for sort of free verse poetry of my own. So this one started out, I identified it. This book began as an elementary school English book. This is the way I always identify these, and I have the definition for alter, which is change, transform, amend, convert, modify, vary, an artistic activity, creative work of art. So this is what I did. This and in this little opening, this little cabinet opening, I have this book was altered into Creative Art by Delight in 2005. So this is an old one, and in this little one I have it says Fini. So the beginning and end papers are a paper that I just love, that I found and I've used quite a bit. This particular book did pretty well, as you can see. It was a Grand Award Best to Show winner, so that's nice. The name of it is Maternal Love, and it was dedicated to my mother, who is a creative, wonderful, wonderful woman, and I lost her when she was only 63 years old, so I've missed her for a good long time. And this is the way I chose to do these pages. Each page is altered in some way. This one, for instance, the words that I masked with masking fluid and kept when I inked all the pages, all the rest of it, you can still see that it's a textbook, but I masked certain words so that they would be highlighted with the background, and it said, understand an inner memory to know one needs wisdom. I just thought that sort of said what I needed it to say about what this book meant for me. This is a lot of the art in here is my own, and things that I got from the internet and things that I kept. I used a lot of Mod Podge in the paper. Mod Podge was just new then, so finding protective coatings that weren't sticky was quite a problem. Back in 2005, it was still new to me. There are a lot of embellishments. This is on a feather, and it has an Emily Dickinson poem, which she's one of. I don't do a lot of poetry. I don't enjoy a lot of poetry. I like Robert Frost, and I like Emily Dickinson. So, and I like Shakespeare. So, this one has, Mother shapes her speech to talk, through which we see all beautiful things and living faith from her. And those are words that I found on the page that I masked and then inked all around. And there are a number of different kinds of tags and little things that have things that my mother would have said to me, do nice things that no one knows about, things like that. All of these somehow sort of relate to my mom. Contentment is not stagnation, it is a rare gift, and that was my mama. This number of pages, this is how one pages can be removed. On this one, I tore pages at varying widths, inked them, and then bound them, hand bound them together with gold thread. the palette. Of course, my mother was very artistic. Life is what you paint with the colors that you are given. So as I said, all of these things have to do with my dear mama, Lucille Rebecca Snyder. Quite a special lady. In this one I added some scrapbook paper and some fiber, sort of metallic fiber that I made the hair with. And this one says, she sung with merry devotion, one to the other. And these, as you can see, these are really thick. So I glued the pages together and did not remove them unless I needed them to be removed for the bulk that I was adding. This one has, no one loves you like, and I took the M-A out of Maltese dog, which is what was under here, Ama. So, and this is a fan that I found when I went with my late husband to a DeLong family reunion, and they have a little hardware store that's a 5 and 10 store that's an old-fashioned one, and they have all kinds of wonderful things that used to be, and this is one of them. It's all these lovely Victorian ladies, and my mama liked to have her hair done, and she liked to dress up nice, so I thought that was appropriate. Again, I used a piece of scrapbook paper. I took a heart stamp and stamped and embossed over it, and these are inks. This page is vellum, yellow vellum, and I did an ink drawing. I don't really draw very well, but I did an ink drawing of a tree behind it, and then used inks to make a sky and a little bit of a stream and some sort of grassy things, and then I stamped little dogs down here and lilies of the valley. That was one of her favorite flowers, and it's my birth flower, so I like that. And this one I kept the words, and then I masked the words and inked it, and then I put the vellum over it and cut holes so that it showed through, and it had, sometimes huddle close, hum and grope through golden light. And she was one that loved music, and I love music, and she always had a very pleasant and cheery attitude, because she said being grouchy and negative didn't get you any place. So this one, the grin on this, she loved animals of all kinds, and this one, the grin on the cat and the grin on the young person and the flower just kind of reminds me of something she'd have liked, because she always said that anybody that didn't have a little bit of spunk wasn't worth much, and a lot of times, you know how kids are, when they've been up to something, they get a grin on them like no other time. And this one says, Mother said, everyone loves you. And we always knew we were loved even when we were ornery. And I was probably the orneriest one of the bunch, so I got a lot of loving for that. And you can see the eyes peeking through. This one has this same little smirky grin, and the eyes are peeking through, and they're from the next page, which is pictures of my mother that I altered and put in these frames, and it said, a pretty face laughed out loud and said, see, children are for fun and play. This one is about music, because as I said, Mom loved music, and I love music. And I made this little guy out of, you probably can't tell, but this is a little bottle. And I embedded it in, this is a real thick page. It's a flat bottle. It was a perfume bottle, and she loved to wear perfume. And I put all kinds of different shapes and sizes of papers in there that have happy written on them. And made it into a funny little man, and she always said, when I'd see her and she'd be smiling, and I'd smile, and she said, well, you're full of all kinds of happy today. So that was that in. And I had a stamp, rubber stamp that did sheet music, and then I put the titles of songs with happy. I have Happy Together, Happy Talk, Happy Holidays, Put on a Happy Face. Happy birthday, sweet 16. Get happy. Happy days are here again. Happy trails to you. If you're happy and you know it. And of course, happy birthday to you. And this page has some sheet music in the background that was all inked, and some butterflies. This page, we had lots of paper dolls. Mom bought us paper dolls. She loved paper dolls, so we got to do paper dolls. So these are some old-fashioned paper dolls with some extra clothes that you can put on them in these vellum pockets. And it's all blue, inked with some paper, extra notebook or scrapbook paper in blue with Grandma Angel stamps, and it says, "Children are beautiful, creative, and happy." And this is the last page, and it is one that I did, and I have calling with singing your soul would not be broken through the ages, and I used that with these embellishments to amplify this picture. And this is 5 generations of oldest daughters. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother, myself, and my oldest daughter, Tammy Ann. So that was a tribute to the fact that I was the 5th oldest, the 5th in which we were the oldest girls in the family. And for the end piece, I made the last page, and I didn't have any poetry left, and I just did, "You will always be my babies." And I have my 5 babies, my son John, Taffy, Tawny, Tracy, and my oldest, Tammy Ann, who is here in this picture. And I already showed you this. So this is an altered book. This is the way you do altered books. And I loved altered books. And this is pretty much what got me interested in paper arts, which I now am very involved in and find very satisfying and creative and love to share with other people. So that's what we'll be doing. Enough said.